Lloyd's Barbershop.
There's another one. I'm glad you're doing that, bro. I'm glad you'll be the last one to walk out.
Jim, I needed a haircut for 2.5 months.
Well, why didn't you holler at me?
There ain't nothing gonna help him. Might tie a $50 bill around his neck or something, see if it does anything. All I need is a little potential and some money and I'll be all right. Well, give me some money and I'll represent you.
Okay. That would be bad, how you represent me. They used to give free caps so nobody could tell you'd gotten a haircut.
So it said they don't spit on the stove. If you must spit, spit on each other.
The barbershop is a very unique place in Rural Retreat because the barber in the 1920s sold Gibson instruments and he gave lessons. The guy that I took over for was a World War II generation. And when I took his shop, it got around that I was playing and I started getting requests from lessons and I was getting the grandkids of the original barber's students. Piedmont Bluz and the old time stuff, the mountain clawhammer banjo, it's definitely, the lineage is there. It comes straight down the line in families and it's still alive.
This year, we're honored to have the multi-talented Reverend Robert B. Jones Sr. here at the John Jackson Piedmont Blues Festival.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, Lord, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Same 3 chords. Same 5 notes, but it does not end there. You can imagine it's like 1935 and you get a young man by the name of Bill Monroe who decides he's going to invent something called bluegrass. Quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most un-Negro kind of music you can imagine. That's okay. 5 white guys standing around wearing cowboy hats, periodically saying, "Yee-haw!" So it's okay, because he got a guitar player by the name of Lester Flatt. And Mr. Flatt always plays the G run. And at the end of the verse, you hear, which is just the boogie woogie, played with a flat pick. I'm going down the road feeling bad, Lord, I'm going down the road feeling bad. I'm going down the road feeling bad, Lord, Lord, no, you don't be treated less away.
Now, being here and looking at this land and realizing, I guess, that John lived like a mile from here. I know he's a great musician who really embodies all of this traditional music, not just blues, but, you know, John could play anything, right? And he is the ambassador for this tradition. And he is a historian in the best sense of the word because he was curious about stuff. And when we are curious about something, it's not just academic, it's soul. But he was an amazing man, and I'm really glad that folks have gotten together who just appreciates who he was, and we keep this legacy alive.
Keeping that memory alive of not just the music, but the personality, I think that all goes with it. He was just a magical guy. He just incredibly nice, and you know, when I met him, I'm a skinny 16-year-old, and of course I thought I was a good guitar player.
I started out sitting in my Uncle Johnny's lap, and he would put the guitar in front of both of us and play, and I guess some of it rubbed off on me by being in his lap, listening to him play the guitar. Really enjoyed the blues, and the blues don't have to be bad news, it can be good news.
Good to be back up here in God's country again, in no place like Rappahannock.
This world of toil and snare, if I falter, Lord, who cares?
He was growing up, they wasn't allowed to go into the cities and go to these big fancy hotel ballrooms and stuff and dances. Uncle Johnny, he went to like the 2nd grade because when it was time to go to school, oh, you can't go to school, it's time to plant corn. So they had house parties, that was their entertainment.
He put in my bed. I woke up one early morning.
Every culture who comes here brings something with them. And although black folks couldn't bring a lot physically, they brought culture. American music becomes what happens when the African meets the European. Folks came up to Detroit from everywhere trying to work in the auto industry. And Henry Ford could not care less about the color of your skin. And they bring blues, they bring gospel, they bring the spiritual. And you got these folks coming up from Kentucky, and they bring bluegrass, and they bring country, and they bring Appalachian music.
You may like bluegrass music, or you might like country rock or whatever, but it's still the grassroots.
A lot of music spring out of the blues. You can hear blues element in gospel, you can hear it in certainly rock and roll.
Your daddy's rich, and your mother's good looking now. So hush, little baby.
The blues spread, everywhere, but in my area of the country, where the coal fields, there were a lot of different nationalities came and they brought their music with them. So there was this big crossover of blues, bluegrass, jazz, old time. It was all meshed together. So if you went somewhere, you would hear all forms of music. So a lot of things got passed over from genre to genre.
A difference between this and bluegrass and country, old time, that there's a shared connection with all of it.
I see young people get excited about this sharing of music. I was talking to a bunch of kids at a school, at Augusta School, middle school, here in this area.
We basically learned about the whole history of blues in 1 hour.
It made us so connected with the blues and everything else that we decided to drive an hour to watch him play again.
And I told them, I said, guys like John Jackson and Phil Wiggins and John Cephas, they played and then they left stuff with us. And we're gonna keep on playing as long as we can, but wouldn't it be special if once God calls us home, you guys are carrying on that same tradition? And that's what I love about, what Jim Lloyd's doing.
There is a house down in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a boy, and me, oh God, I'm one.
Jim's a great teacher, and when these kids realize, like, oh, I can do this too. I can play the banjo.
Dooley, sitting up the holler, Dooley, trying to make $1. Dooley, give me a song, I'll pay you back someday.
Most of the time, if you can get them playing something and you say, this song I used to play with your grandfather, or this song I used to play with your great uncle, or something like that, it generally will light a fire. They really will latch on to that.
A lot of the young people really enjoy this music and they show a big interest in it.
Seeing these kids get the same hunger that I've had for it is awesome. It makes me feel like it will continue, it will go on.
I'm very proud of this bunch. They're a good bunch of kids, and I've enjoyed teaching them. Several of them up there now, I put their fingers on the strings for the first time. The fiddle player, I played with her great-grandfather.
You put it out there. If you build, they'll come. And that's how this blues music is. That's why it's very important to each one of us to continue to do this. And that's what draws the young people in. Seeing is believing.
Well, I ain't got no special rider here.
This sharing of music doesn't necessarily happen in the same styles. But the dynamic that produces it is pretty identical.
So now hurry home, boy, your special rider, she did.
Music has to be accessible. You can't be it if you can't see it, right? But then all that seeing is, or hearing is to have one person who picks up an instrument and you ask that question, how you do that? The door opens.
You gonna quit me, baby? Put my clothes outdoors, good Lord. Put my clothes outdoors, good Lord. Put my
Piedmont Bluz has kind of gotten lost along the way, the acoustic stuff, and that's my favorite stuff. I really like to play that on the guitar.
But the thing I love about acoustic music is that you've got, if you're playing a fiddle, a banjo, or a guitar, or ukulele, whatever it is, you're doing something that folks have been doing for literally thousands of years.
Traditional music, it's been the same way for all these years. You know, things change, people change, but a lot of the music stays the same. You know, we still do songs now that were written back in 1600s.
You don't need to set up your synthesizer or any of that stuff. It's intimate and it ties you to this tradition.
You can study history and you can read history in the books all you want, but this is what it sounded like.
The idea is to take this really ancient art form and to bring it back and understand all of that is really about how does it serve community. Now we can build community, we'll get our country back. We'll get our love for each other back, because that's what community is.
No matter what background you come from, no matter who you are, there's something in that music for you.
Dooley was a good old